Filming.
So it's pre-production, production, and post-production.
Okay, what do you mean by production?
I'm thinking of a proper answer.
My understanding of production is like there has to be like someone there to make sure like everything is going properly from all stages, and like that he's also in charge of making sure the project is done in time.
Production might be able to buy you probably Glenfiddich whiskey na una kunyonga Glen Morangi. Chakula ama soda? Wacha nisuggest kitu. Silence. Go closer to this.
Unajua hata box ya wembe wangana wembe kadanda.
Mtu mbuya cheza chini. Hiyo ni mali ya mabwegeze. Cheza chini. Cheza chini.
Hey, cheza chini.
Wase na bado mjue kanipea moment yangu niongee. Na mimi nikisimama
hii ni console, inaitwa console. Yeah. From company to company. Yeah, make varies from company to company. Those zinaitwa racks. Hizo racks ni kama ina control camera. Yeah. Cameraman kazi yake huko ni focus.
It's a package. So it's 18 cameras HD.
Those are your feeds. It's going to be how many? 12 for football, and you've got your switchers. Okay, just like the studio. So this is outcast broadcasting. Sasa, this is cut. You take your mana up, you switch off everything, okay? Sawa. And you got your feed sound from the pitch. In football we put, or in games, there's a microphone, a very long microphone that's put on the pitch. So that you feel, when you're cutting in here, you also feel the buzz. Because you're cutting with the emotions of the people. Without this, you'll start cutting boring. So?
So this studio is for turn up and view. It used to be presentation studio for Super Sport. And so the lighting they use in here is very low heat emission. This is the size of the studio. So it's all LED, but very extremely low heat emission. So it doesn't get, because when you see the crowd in here and they're doing turn up or whatever, you might think, oh my God, guys are going to die of heat. But the lighting is very low heat emission.
You have your places where you put the camera as you've been taught in school for production. Even on one camera you put it there for subjective, there for objective, yeah? And then there for another subjective. It's the same thing even for talk shows. As long as you have those 3 cameras, you can tell the story. This is zingine zote ni maua. Yeah? This is just beauty. So even if you had another camera there, if you didn't have these 3, you can't tell the story. Like if George and I were talking, okay? You need to see George and I talking, because sometimes we talk to the audience and we go back home, blah, blah, right? Then I asked George, so for how long have you done this? And then where do you cut to? Over shoulder behind me, okay? Then I can even take out the link there, or I can walk and take out the link on the jib as it goes that way. So it's always printed on 3s. Even football, when you watch your football, you realize you always cut to 3 cameras, and only until something really important happens, that's when you cut to the 4th, up to the 7th. Hapa tunafanya 7 cameras. mpira lakini Sekafa inaenda mpaka I think 12, but 7 you get a good football game kabisa. How many editors know this term crashing blacks? Yeah, when you crash the blacks, then that becomes an ever, so if it's like a musician singing, they look a bit more prominent, like they are floating somewhere in the galaxy. So you can do effects. However, you can do anything you want here. You can put gray screens, you can put green, blue, depending on the people you're working with.
When you're designing sets for studio, the perspective is very important, because you've got to consider, it's called the axis. Like now, this set itself, the axis essentially is here. So you ask yourself, what's so when I'm taking a divider on any given set, which means that when you design it that way, with bearing camera in mind, then because you have to be very careful that if a character is here, then the director can actually shoot them. But if I built this set without thinking, and for instance this wall is here, then immediately you've got a challenge, a big one, because now what I'm doing to the director, I'm basically narrowing his or her choices. So there's the lighting in mind, the camera in mind, and that also goes right down to surfaces and texture, because you can do a set for theater, for example, which is for the naked eye, and the naked eye sees in 3D. Camera doesn't, and so the camera is very sensitive to any little glitch, particularly because we're shooting on HD. So the surfaces and the textures are very, very important. Also, for lighting purposes, we cannot have a situation where it's reflective unless it's intentional. Like now this set, those lighting strips there, sometimes when they're off, the lights actually reflect off that, but it looks cool. You see, it looks cool. For Pambio, it's cool. Sometimes a reflection on the screen, and that's part of the show. But in a show like Jela 5, you can't have. Again, in terms of design, there's that. There is the colors of the set are again according to the story and the characters. So if I'm designing a flat that she lives in, as a designer, I have to read the script and I have to read the profile of that specific character for me to decide the set will be this way. This is the sort of furniture she would have, and the colors that she's likely to have, which means that's the color of her house. And then I advise the wardrobe, her dress sense has to be along these lines, right down to the shoes and accessories. So the whole design process goes right down to all those considerations. Who has watched Kero? Counterterrorism. Hakuna mtu amewatch Kero.
Nimewatch.
Umewatch? Sasa all those props and all those props are explosives, handling the guns. Huyu Simon.
If you just need to make a bomb, just come and see me.
Yeah. One of the things that can kill your career before it starts is attitude. And the ones that we enjoy seeing are people who come in who say, I know everything. Ni sawa, kama unajua basi wewe endelea. Na utaingia shimoni watu wakikuangalia tu. Attitudes are very, very, very key. And of course, you will go through places where you will be treated like shit, like crap. It's not as bad as during our days when we started off. But that's a fact. But then you have to decide whether you want it soft. If you want it soft, weka home na ubet, like Katonya says. Nothing comes easy, but your attitude is very, very key. In that studio, we have on average between 60 and 100 people on this set every day. Every single day.
We're going to say the closing remarks and pray for us. Okay. So that you leave your blessing and you head back.